A very warm welcome to all of you. You are here with another Chat with Expert episode. In this episode, we'll be discussing big data analytics and its transformative impact on business strategies. So, joining us today as our esteemed guest is Mr. Heshan Kavinda, a highly regarded expert in the realm of big data analytics. Mr. Heshan, a proud product of University of Maratua, did his masters at University of Plymouth, possesses a wealth of knowledge and experience in this critical field, and we are incredibly fortunate to have you share your expertise with us. Throughout this conversation, we'll embark on a fascinating journey into the world of big data analytics, exploring key topics such as demystifying big data, unlocking customer insight, the big data dream team, scalability in the face of the data deluge, and ethical considerations in big data. Mr. Heshan Kavinda, we are incredibly grateful to have you here today. We are all eager to hear your insights on these critical aspects of big data analytics and its impact on shaping successful business strategies. So, to begin the interview, my first question is to you is, what is this big data analytics and what are the key technologies underpinning big data analytics?
Yep, so thank you for inviting me to this discussion. So to begin the discussion, I would like to talk about big data analytics. So in my opinion, this is the process of examining large and varied data sets to uncover the hidden patterns, correlations, and market trends and other valuable insights using a large amount of data that, because of the advancement in technology, we have lots of data from everywhere. So this is the process of examining this data. So this process enables businesses to make data-driven decisions and transform their businesses from traditional ways to the newest ways by using these techniques and data and the information from this data. So if I talk about the technologies that we can use to do these analytics, most important thing is databases. We need databases to store this data. That's where we are using various databases like NoSQL or SQL databases. For example, MongoDB or Cassandra or other SQL databases that we can use to store data. And the other thing is like machine learning algorithms to identify the insights of these data, like classification, clustering, or association mining algorithms to find informations or identify the patterns in data. And also data visualization tools are really important in this field, like TableAU or Power BI, or even programming languages like Python or R to find or visualize these insights that we can find within this data. And also one of the most important thing is cloud computing, where we have various vendors of these cloud computing features like AWS or Azure or Google Cloud to store our data, or we can use their APIs to find these insights. Yep.
Mr. Heshan, we like to know how can business leverage big data analytics to gain insight into customer behavior and preferences?
Yep. So as I mentioned earlier, businesses can use various tools and algorithms to understand their customers and the trends within the data, or they can identify the customer groups and isolate their customers and target each and every individual personally. So techniques like customer segmentations can be used to identify the groups in the society, and we can target these groups individually depending on their behavior and depending on their trends. And one other thing that businesses can do is personalization. So like, for example, if you open up your YouTube, you can see various types of videos that are customized to you. So if that is where businesses using these techniques like personalization. So they make recommendations using your history, using the history of browsing, so they know what are the videos that you like to watch, so they recommend doing that. Like another example is like Uber, they are using our history to recommend restaurants, recommend other offers using these personalization things. And one of the other strategies is like sentiment analysis, where they analyze our behaviors and informations from social media, or like they collect customer feedbacks and they analyze the sentiments of these data, and they can use this data to improve their services depending on the sentiment that their customers keep on them. And also they can use techniques like association mining to identify the association between products, and they can generate new promotions, or they can like for example, they can use association mining techniques to understand the most likely to buy product. Like for example, if you are going to buy a computer, they can use their sentiment of their association mining techniques to identify what will you buy with a computer, like a mouse or maybe a keyboard. So that is where they can use these association mining like techniques. So in the industry, we have lots of these kind of techniques that businesses using to generate these data and insights.
Nishan, to continue our discussion, can you explain who are the key roles in the big data analytics field, and what are the responsibilities of them, and how do they collaborate with each other in the working environment?
Yeah, so when it comes to roles and responsibilities in data analysis or whatever, so we have large number of roles like data scientists, data engineers, business analysts, or machine learning engineers. So each of these key roles are important in order to take advantage of big data analysis. So if I wanted to talk about data scientists, they are the people who develop algorithms, models, or perform advanced analytics. And if I'm talking about data engineers, they are the ones who design and construct and maintains the infrastructure that we need to store this data or store these algorithms or whatever. And we have data administrators who are responsible for managing the database systems and ensure the data integrity. And we have data analysts who interprets data by using various tools like Power BI or even programming languages like Python to generate accountable insights. And we have like business analyst who bridges the gap between business needs and the technical solutions. So they are in the middle of these two nodes, and they know the business and they know the technical solutions, so they bridge the gap between these two. And how they collaborate with each other. So in a business settings, so as you may already know, we have teams called interdisciplinary teams, where we have individuals from various experts levels. So we may have data scientists, data engineers, and data analysts. So data engineers and data scientists will ensure the data is clean and accessible, where data analysts use various tools like Power BI to generate insights. That's how they communicate with each other, and that's how they collaborate to drive their businesses to success using these tools.
To continue our discussion, Mr. Hishan, can you explain how do businesses handle the scalability and performance challenges of big data analytics system, and what are the technologies used for that?
Yeah, so as we know, big data is kind of a large amount of data with the varied formats. Like data can be in various formats. Data can be that may be an image, or that may be a document, or something like that. So as I mentioned earlier, we first need a reliable source of storage to store this data. So that is where most of the businesses nowadays tends to use cloud-based servers to store their data, because we have Amazon Web Services or Azure or Google Cloud platforms to store our data. So one of the most reliable thing is to use cloud solutions, so that they can scale their solutions for these data analytics. And also, in order to maintain the performances. Most of the businesses these days uses distributed computing systems where they uses various technologies like Hadoop or Spark to distribute their processing into various nodes so that they can speed up processing and improve the performance in this analysis. And also they can use various techniques like data partition to split large data into small manageable chunks so that they can analyze these data in small chunks and speed up the process. And in-memory processing or load balancing steps to improvise the performances and quality of their analysis. So if I talk about technologies that most of the companies use in the current situation, like Apache Hadoop, Apache Spark, so for the distributed system, and Kubernetes, or like Google Cloud Services, Amazon Web Services, Azure, these are the most important technologies that we have in the industry at this moment for these scalability performance.
To wrap the things up, we'll take one last question to you. What are the ethical considerations surrounding big data analytics?
Yep, so ethical considerations are the most important thing that we need to think about if we are talking about big data analysis, because we are talking about data and this data comes from our customers or from people. So the most important thing is privacy. So we need to make sure that we protect their privacy. So if we are about to collect their data, we need to protect their privacy and we need to align with the compliances and we need to secure their data so that no one can access their data in the way they want. So no one can use their data if they don't have access to it. So that is one of the most important ethical factors, that privacy or data security. And also we need to make sure the transparency of the data collecting process as well. So we need to educate our customers about the way that we collect data and the usage of the data as well. So we can't use that data without their consent as well. That is one of the other things that we need to make sure. So we first need to get their consent before collecting their data and before analyzing that. So consent is one of the critical factors that we need to make sure. So that is where you will see, if you open up a new website, so you will have a pop-up to ask whether you would like to allow to website to analyze your data. So you can consent or you can't, you will stop them from analyzing those data. So that is one of the most important things, consent.
We appreciate the effort you put into sharing your expertise and experience with us. Your contribution have greatly enriched our understanding and will undoubtedly help us in moving forward. Thank you again for your time and valuable support. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for inviting me.